Et donc, bonjour à tous et à toutes, c'est Sogevince, on se retrouve pour la suite de Trauma Centers New Blood. Et on en était au chapitre 3-4, après avoir fait de la merde sur ce chapitre-là. Hein. Et donc le chapitre 3-4, le poids du secret.
The NIH has received a request for help from a hospital in Texas. They're having difficulty with the diagnosis. Based on the patient's chart, there's a good chance that it's stigma.
So this is what we're dealing with, hmm?
These two pictures were taken only a few hours apart? Look how far the focus has shifted. And it's...
A biopsy was attempted, but they were unable to obtain a sample of the pathogen. The patient will arrive in roughly 3 hours. Vaughn and Blaylock will...
We'll check the patient's condition upon her arrival and then proceed with the operation.
We're treading on unknown territory, so we'd appreciate your support, Dr. Suji.
I highly doubt that you two will need my help, but I'll get ready nonetheless.
Mais non, tout va bien se passer.
The patient's vitals are stable. Blood pressure 110/60.
Any case history?
She was involved in an accident 2 months ago. Laceration on the right thigh. Looks like they used artificial blood for transfusion. Q-heme blood from Syntec Labs, to be exact.
Are there any contraindications?
None that I'm aware of, but can you check with them just in case?
Will do.
The affected area is the liver. The course of treatment will be determined during the procedure. However, I have a feeling this will be different than the professor's case.
Even so, I'm sure our experience with stigma will prove invaluable.
Ah, salut Iqual. Ce sont les voix Jap sur une Wii craquée. Malheureusement.
Let's stay positive.
Malheureusement, je n'ai pas de... Ouais, le whip en moi. Moi aussi, t'inquiète pas, hein, mais... malheureusement, je n'ai pas de... Je n'ai pas de Wii craqué. Donc, voilà. Puis pour record avec la VAR Media, je suis obligé de passer par ma Wii U, donc... Par des vrais jeux. Mais oui, les voix Jap... non, mais surtout qu'en plus, le doubleur de Marcus, c'est la voix du daron par excellence, donc... Voilà.
If we can find and attack it, we may be able to identify the key to stopping it.
a core. Now that you mention it, there was something in the report.
That's right. We saw something like a core when we were operating.
I'm surprised you remember, Marcus.
Call it a hunch.
A hunch? Well, at least we have some hope of defeating it now.
C'est laquelle celle-là déjà?
I'll be praying that I don't have to get involved.
Ah, moi aussi.
It's haunting me.
Dr. Vaughn?
It's nothing. Let's end this nightmare.
Allez Marcus, à toi.
Okay, let's begin.
Ah putain, oh, par contre... Voilà. Alors,
The exact nature.
Pro du scalpel, toujours. Oh putain, c'est celle-là.
Stigma confirmed.
That must be its core there in the center.
We can't do anything to it since the core is in... The tissue itself looks highly viscous. Let's try draining it.
Good job. The amount of cell.
Okay, then let's... Is this a tumor? Let's burn it with the laser.
Oui.
The core's been exposed.
Celle-là, elle
Use
est
the
pas
laser
trop
to
dure,
incinerate it. It's working.
Ça va, c'est pas le plus dur.
The core's being covered by the tissue again. Please drain it. There is still tissue left inside the patient. Please drain it.
The remaining tissue is hardened? Does it dry out over time?
We can't use the drain on the hardened tissue. Use the laser to soften...
Now we can use the scalpel to
Alors
detach
ça,
it.
je dois bien vous dire que je l'avais jamais fait.
The tissue has been dropping. Vitals are dropping. The tissue has been extracted. It's stained.
Let's extract it with the PAL procedure. First, use the drain on the hardened tumor.
C'est mal parti pour celle-là. C'est très mal parti. Non, qu'est-ce qu'elle fait? Putain, mais...
Use the drain on the hardened tumor, then excise it with the scalpel. The draining is
Qu'est-ce qu'elle
complete.
fout ma...
Use the scalpel
Oula,
to
je vais
excise
tellement
it.
mourir. Et en vrai je me suis tellement foutu dans la merde tout seul. J'étais à 0 assez vite. Putain, il y en a une autre là.
The tumor has been excised. Good job, doctor. Don't ignore
Putain,
the
ça
other
descend
tumors,
tellement
though.
vite là les signeux. Ah, je me suis pris comme un manche en plus, bon. Ah, fuck. Ah, je me suis pris comme un manche. Non, c'est pas le stress en plus, c'est
Leave the rest to...
c'est pas le stress, c'est j'ai un moment, je sais pas ce qu'elle m'a fait ma Wiimote. Elle m'a fait de la merde, très probablement. Et le truc s'est bloqué en haut alors que j'étais en train de foutre du... Ah, voilà, normalement, ça devait beaucoup mieux se passer. Parce qu'elle est pas trop dure celle-là à gérer de tac. Enfin de tac.
That must be its core.
We can't do the
Ça c'est
tissue
dans les
itself.
dans
It's
le
highly
premier.
viscous.
Good job.
Okay, then let's continue this and drag the core out.
En fait, le fait que ma Wiimote ait fait de la merde, ça m'a fait perdre masse temps.
The core's been exposed. Use the laser to It's working. The core's being covered.
Is this a tumor? Let's burn it with the laser.
Alors les trucs vont arriver.
There is still tissue left inside the patient. Please drain it.
Pas grand chose. Alors c'est pas le pancréas, c'est le foie là.
Just a little more.
Ah je dis elle est vraiment pas compliquée celle-là.
Did it split up?
The core has to be in one of them. Use the drain to find it.
C'est planqué.
More of the tissue has been created. Drain it immediately.
Ça c'était sûr qu'il allait avoir le temps de se barrer. Voilà.
We did it.
Ah, de suite quand
That was
ça
an
fait pas de la
amazing
merde.
operation. Let's close her up and be finished.
Toujours un grand plaisir ce genre de truc.
We were able to deal with
I hope this is the last time we have to.
We're finished.
J'espère que c'est la dernière fois. Non, non, TKT. On va en avoir d'autres, des trucs où ça va mal se passer. Putain, ça va 55. Et en B.
Stigma's mobility far exceeded our
Ça va,
expectations.
ça se passe bien. Alors de suite, quand le
You
pointeur de la
all did a
Wiimote part
great
pas en
job
couille,
treating it. I'm glad
ça se
you're
passe
with
mieux.
us.
Would you expect any less from Caduceus' own special disease counteraction team?
We'll hold a conference on this case of stigma within the next few days. Of course, I'll need you to speak regarding today's operation and the patient's progress. Your report will also be forwarded to Health and Human Services, so please get started immediately.
Just give me a strong cup of joe, and I'll crank it out.
Good. You know, there was no way we could have anticipated Stigma's metamorphosis. I was amazed at how well you adapted. I know you have the healing touch, but even...
I guess I'm just lucky.
Pourquoi utiliser le healing touch? On en a pas besoin. Le patient demeure. Oh putain, c'est pas le truc avec les anévrismes? Ah, je crois que c'est une mission que j'ai détestée la première fois que je l'ai faite.
The results from the liver exam indicate that the patient has been making satisfactory progress. She seems to be recovering well, but it's unclear how this disease was transmitted in the first place. We should continue monitoring her for at least another month.
I see. Well, I think it's safe to say that the treatment was successful. How about the pathogen itself? What have we learned? And please, keep it brief, Robert.
My pleasure. Although our analysis is only partially complete. First, the biopsy. Stigma did not match any known organism.
Ouais.
Meaning, it's a new species, so we'll have to come up with a name for it. So how about it, Dr. Everett? You'll be a grandfather one of these days.
Well, my son's only 12. All he thinks about is football.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll ask someone else. Now, regarding the spectral analysis, our attempts to determine its structure resulted in failure.
What? How is that possible?
We tried a different machine, but the outcome was the same. We screened for nucleic acid, proteins, glucose, lipids, and ATP, but stigma consists of an organic compound that is completely foreign to us.
C'est organique, mais complètement différent, mais bizarrement tout notre matos marche dessus. Et ça c'est beau. Ça c'est beau.
What? This will change the way we think about life itself.
Whoever is
mais il est
credited
créé
with
en
its discovery
scénario,
will
le
surely
stigma.
make history. From a medical perspective, it's fortunate that stigma's infectivity is weak. We're trying to culture it, but so far there's no sign of growth or multiplication. It's going to be difficult to determine the means of infection as well.
This is more serious than we thought.
Madam Director, we have an emergency. Leslie, we're in the middle of an important conference. Deputy Secretary Marshall has collapsed. He may have intraaxial hemorrhaging.
George Marshall, from the Department of Homeland Security?
Je crois que c'est bien celle-là.
All right, let's adjourn the conference.
Ah, les maladies de Trauma Center, c'est ça. Ah putain, je crois que c'est bien celle-là.
Vaughn, Blaylock,
You want us to operate on a high rank?
I'll explain the details before the operation.
Les
It's been 35
anévrismes.
minutes since he collapsed. He's a 9 on the coma scale with...
We're waiting on the CAT scan results, but it's most likely a case of
This is his chart from his previous admittance. We performed deep brain stimulation to treat his dystonia.
And he was able to recover from that. Incredible. Looks like the system's produced by Columba and Cornix, the same company that made Elaine.
Yes, it's now a subsidiary. If you have any questions about it, you can ask.
Director, what's this shadow here on the
Oh, that. It's a hippocampus chip. We implanted it at...
He didn't want to forget anything, so he opted to have his memory augmented. I assume they're keeping it quiet. Do we need to worry about being in violation of state law?
We don't have time to discuss that. Now, the hematoma is far enough away from the electrodes, but take care when using the thrombolytic.
Okay, we'll head over to the OR then.
Le gel magique. Ah putain, les anévrismes quoi.
These are the results from the CT. Please, some of the blood vessels have already burst and are
Ah, je vais
hemorrhaging
prendre
heavily
Valérie pour
inside,
celle-là.
but first,
Parce
you
que,
must clear the excess blood from the area. Remember,
parce qu'elle a
this is
le,
brain surgery.
elle a healing touch la
Even a
plus,
tiny mistake could
je
debilitate
trouve
his
la plus
brain.
pétée quoi.
This will require extreme delicacy and dexterity.
C'est pas
We
pire
need
que
to
celle de
do our
Naomi
best.
dans Second Opinion. Parce que franchement...
Beginning the operation.
Bon.
Since we're operating, we'll have to be extremely careful.
bulge. Let's remove it.
I'm getting the sedative ready. Please, let's detach it with the scalpel while the sedative. The aneurysm has been. The aneurysm. Please hold the vein with a force. The vein has been reconnected. Please suture the vein together. We're done.
The test said there were...
There's a chance that any... Let's shift our viewpoint when necessary.
There it is. Let's treat it before it...
There's more. Once we treat the ones in sight, we have to quickly change our focus.
Putain, ouais.
The sedative's effect is worn off. Please inject it again.
Éclaté. Ah, fuck.
Doctor, please inject it into the bulging vein. Vitals are dropping?
Ah, fuck.
Let's wait a moment and see what happens. Doctor, please
Alors,
hurry.
c'est...
If all of these burst at once.
Mais fuck. Oh, je sais plus. D'habitude, je le fais comme ça, mais...
An aneurysm seems to have burst outside of our current view. Use the magnification tool to find it.
Ouais, alors là, il y en a une qui a explosé, donc ça, on va faire avec. Oh.
Once you pick up the vein with the forceps, pull it straight toward the other end of the vein.
Mais putain! Tu vas avoir des éléphants bleus, mon gars. On va refiler un peu de... Ouais.
His vitals are... We're done here.
Oh mon dieu! Putain, je déteste vraiment cette opération. En plus, je sais plus comment faire les healing touch, le plaisir.
Columba and Cornix's brain electrodes and pump units may seem cutting edge.
En vrai, va falloir quand même que le petit coup de gel magique. En vrai, va falloir quand même que je me rappelle comment on l'utilise parce qu'à la fin, je vais en avoir besoin.
Just like the pacemaker. Why do I have this nagging feeling? Everyone who's contracted stigma has had some kind of artificial agent in their body. Even that one patient who was transferred here had Syntex Q heme blood. I was using artificial blood with my test mouse too. I wonder if there's a connection.
Dr. Vaughn, can I trouble you for...
Of course.
I wanted to check on the Deputy Secretary's condition.
I doubt I can tell you more than you already know, ma'am. Since he was brought here promptly, cerebral ischemia was kept to a minimum, and there are no signs of severe paralysis, so we shouldn't have to worry about any aftereffects. We can't use the MRI, so we'll take another CAT scan tomorrow. Will you be advising on his rehab, ma'am?
Yes, I will. I also need to administer a personality test. Because of his implant, he must be sad, really. He's such a talent.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the guy. But I'd like to leave him in the hands of the others so I can concentrate on stigma.
Agreed. And Dr. Vaughn, it's a shame that you feel the need to keep secrets from us. But I'm hoping that will change.
What makes you say that?
Your cutaneous muscles seem a little more tense than normal. I'm out of practice when it comes to reading faces. Was my assessment accurate? You're a critical part of the Caduceus team. I hope you're not thinking of leaving.
Of course not.
Là, on arrive chapitre 4. L'argent est roi. On en est à peine 20 minutes de record, nickel. Donc on va faire chapitre 4. On va commencer la mission. L'argent est roi, si je dis pas de conneries, c'est celui... Ouais, avec le...
Hey!
Ouais.
You there?
Who? Me? Well, yes.
Could you please take a look at my son? He's been
You brought him here?
I heard this hospital is famous. And it's
Well, there's no point arguing about it. What's your son's name?
Oliver. Oliver McKay.
Ah oui, c'est les deux appendicites. Je me rappelle de ce truc.
You wouldn't believe the patient I'm dealing with. He's throwing a fit because his operation isn't expensive enough.
Are you serious?
Yeah, his friend just had a hernia operation that cost $40,000, and he's 11 years old and filling the role of a trust fund brat perfectly. I guess it wasn't enough for him that his father pulled some strings to get him into. He's the son of some big shot, and neither of his parents have the time to
Ah oui, je me rappelle la phase. Je me rappelle la phase.
So how much are we charging him?
About $30,000. The operation will be performed in a deluxe suite.
Appendicitis? What a coincidence. I'm seeing...
Excuse me, Dr. Blaylock?
Yes, Elena?
I have a message from accounting. They say to transport your new patient. It seems the family, since Caduceus isn't normally open to the public, they don't...
How much is it going to cost?
Well, the family doesn't have health insurance, so at least...
But transporting him now will put his life at risk.
Unfortunately, money talks, even when it comes to healthcare.
What do you think?
That's a tough decision. Marcus, have you given your patient his bill yet?
No, why?
Do you mind if I handle it? Chandler, I mean, Mr. Forbes, about your hospital bill. The total will be 30.
I told you, that's not enough. I can't lose to someone like Jimmy. His dad's just the president of some little company.
Putain, les mecs qui se battent pour être pour payer plus quoi. Mais niquez-vous.
I want a premium upgrade. Bring in like 10 doctors.
I'm afraid we can't do that. But there might be something else we can do. If you'd like to make a donation, we can increase your bill. How does $10,000?
That's it? Well,
Ah oui,
that would bring it up to
grosse
40.
attaque là.
but that's the same as Jimmy's. That's still not high enough.
Well, we could add 2,000 more and make it
42,000. My daddy gives me whatever I... Oh. Ow.
We have the best room reserved for you.
Well then, the donation will be transferred from the hospital to the Oliver McHale Fund. Elena, prep for surgery. We've got 2 appendixes to remove.
Allez.
Pretty sneaky, Val. To be honest,
C'était
I'm
son doigt.
impressed.
Non mais pas bête hein.
It still counts as a donation, so it...
It'll be fine. It's in both their best interests anyway, so it all works out.
Well, let's begin the conference.
Ah, c'est
The
violent.
first patient, Chandler, has acute appendicitis. It appears to be in its early stages, so the operation should be fairly routine. However, the second patient, Oliver, seems to have this... It looks like he's been trying to hide his symptom.
But he's only a child.
We understand the situation. This is going to be 2 operations back to back.
Alors ce qui est bien c'est qu'il y a la version
Going
facile,
to save them both.
la première opération et la version difficile, la deuxième. Parce que la deuxième c'est un peu l'apocalypse. Hein.
This boy's condition is...
It's still too late to treat it with antibiotics.
All right. Please begin the procedure.
Alors voilà, ça c'est une appendicite pas
Please
trop horrible.
prepare to... First, inject the sedative. Next, we'll be cutting into the mesoappendix. Use the scalpel to make an incision. Next, however, they must...
One goes around the... Look at where the wire needs to be. Then slide it down while pressing the A button. We're done tying the base. Now for the wire around the appendix.
Ah oui, c'est comme ça.
Now that both parts make an incision between the two wires, now that the appendix has been severed, please place it on the tray. The appendix has been successfully removed. Now, affix the membrane. Looks like our first
Voilà, ça c'était la version facile.
Let's close them up.
C'était l'appendicite facile. Maintenant on va passer à l'appendicite hardcore mode.
Let's move on to our...
Doctor, we have a problem.
What?
What's his condition?
He complained of severe pain and then...
Don't tell me.
We'll find out when we open him up. We have to hurry and get in there.
Et bonjour, c'est la merde.
It's peritonitis.
Treat the inflammation and the appendix needs to be removed as well. Begin with the sedative.
Ah ça c'est un gros plaisir là. Celle-là.
This is bad. The appendix
Alors
is
attends, on
festering.
va quand même faire un petit coup de... Sinon ça va être un peu la merde. Oh, l'intérêt.
The patient's vitals.
The appendix has been extracted, so we shouldn't have to worry about any more pus.
Grande niche.
Affix the synthetic. The synthetic membrane has been affixed. Let's treat the remaining wounds.
The chiasse qu'il y a autour. Sérieux?
The appendix. Let's close him up.
Voilà.
This boy is very lucky. If he'd waited any longer for surgery, well, let's close him up.
Rich or poor, we're all the same under the knife. I never thought such a simple operation could put me on...
I think we've all learned something from this operation.
Ouais. Ah oui non mais ouais ça c'est par contre... Mais ça c'est le genre de truc hein, c'est... Quand t'as mal quelque part il faut pas...
Thank you so much, doctor.
Faut pas rester en mode...
You saved my son's life. But I thought that this hospital didn't treat
Faut pas
normal
rester en
patients.
mode... Oui, je vais attendre et
It
souffrir en
was an
silence.
emergency, so this was a special case. Thankfully, an anonymous donor paid for your
I can't believe how fortunate we are. That donor must be an angel.
Non.
Yes, well, please see to getting your son health insurance so he can get the medical...
Okay, I will. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Take care now.
You're very good with children, Dr. Blaylock.
Thanks. I did some volunteer work at an orphanage.
Ça va, grave la dalle.
How about
Je me
you,
suis jamais fait
Marcus? Who were the
opérer de
lucky
l'appendicite donc ça je peux pas
beneficiaries
vraiment
of
dire.
your
Mais c'est vrai que voilà, là, quand t'as mal quelque part faut pas attendre pendant 2 heures hein, sinon.
I didn't do any volunteer work.
Really? I thought that was a requirement for all doctors.
état d'urgence. Je sais plus ce que c'est.
He's so I haven't heard from him in I don't know how long, and now he's telling me to come to Philadelphia. He's got some nerve. It's like he thinks we're still dating.
That's just his personality. It can't be helped. Besides, you already said yes, right? You're not on call, so why not? Think of it as a little vacation. A chance to
How stupid of me. When I heard that he'd found a new type of parasite, I agreed to go without thinking. That reminds me. How are things between you and Ray?
It ended when he went back home.
Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have brought it up.
Oh, it's all
Only
right.
girls talk.
If you're so worried about this trip, then why don't you bring Dr. Vaughn along? He has some time off too, doesn't he?
I don't know if that would be such a good idea.
I think he'd be interested in going. It sounds like a fascinating discovery.
You think so?
Thanks, but I'll pass. Philadelphia's too far. It'd be a waste of my vacation. Besides, Robert finished his report on stigma, and I'd like to review it.
Oh, come on, don't be that way. This information will be useful for you.
If it was that important, Caduceus would be all over. A parasite isn't going to help us understand stigma any better. I have no interest in a new variety of hookworm.
You're going to drive all the way to Philadelphia?
That's the plan.
That sounds like fun. I haven't been on a road trip in a long time.
Really? Then would you...
Are you sure it's okay?
Of course, the more the merrier. I'll tell Denny it's a field trip for Caduceus' Special Disease Counteraction Team.
Hey, I didn't say I was going.
J'avais dit que je venais.
What are you talking about? This is a team effort. I won't take no for an answer. We're all going to Philadelphia this weekend.
Putain, le mec qui vient de se faire gratter son week-end, quoi. C'est pas très sympa.
That was an interesting operation, wasn't it?
I suppose. It would have been a lot more interesting if the operation hadn't been performed on a dog.
J'avais oublié ça.
Oh, don't be so cranky, Marcus. How was I supposed to know that Denny decided to become a veterinarian? He tried to be a nice host, right? Even if he didn't exactly succeed.
Look at that guy. He's driving like a maniac.
Well, I thought it was worth the trip.
Really? I'm sure what we learned will come.
Yeah, like if we ever have to save a celebrity's pampered pooch. I never should have let you talk me into this.
All right, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking straight. I mean, how would you feel if your college ex called you out of nowhere?
I totally understand. Just ignore him, Dr. Blaylock. Hey, what's with that police car?
There's been an accident. Stop the car.
Today's just not my day. It's worse than I thought. Someone was thrown from the car.
Le monsieur est passé devant la vitre.
It seems he was the only one inside.
He's breathing, but he's unconscious. The wounds on his chest are pretty bad.
I brought a set of instruments. Let's get ready.
We're going to operate here?
We'll just perform first aid. He may be suffering from damage to his internal...
Well, this has turned out to be one hell of a road trip.
Le road trip de votre vie. Mais on va prendre mal.
We need to provide first...
Et après, je pense que ce sera la dernière opération qu'on va faire.
He appears to have
cette vidéo.
sustained...
We need to treat these external wounds first.
Alors, les glaces. On va tout ça.
The patient's vitals.
Oui. Et le gel magique. Je déteste.
We've treated his
Déteste ce
external...
genre de
There's
truc.
probably some internal bleeding.
On va
Please
remonter un peu
open him up.
l'initial. 40. Ok, on est bien. gel magique et le...
This doesn't...
Please, use the antibiotic gel before the hemorrhaging worsens. Use the forceps to grasp one side
Vraiment?
of the... Once you've drained the blood, quickly use the forceps to close the laceration. That was the worst one. Let's treat the other wounds now.
His vitals still... We'll have to use the magnification tool.
On a dû louper quelque chose. Je sais pas, peut-être le sang qui pisse en bas.
The hemorrhagings formed a pool of blood.
C'est où ça va? Ah putain.
Doctor, the shadow has disappeared.
Ah ouais non.
Doctor, something's wrong.
Y'a tout qui se passe en même temps, c'est dégueulasse. J'étais pas prêt.
For doctor, but without they...
Mais non, mais tous les trucs qui se passent en même temps, c'est crade.
He appears to...
We need to treat these external wounds first.
Ah putain. Si je perds, c'est à cause de l'éternuement.
We've treated. There's probably some internal bleeding. Please open him up. Please, use the antibiotic gel before the hemorrhaging worsens.
His vitals will have to use the magnification tool.
Once you've drained the blood, quickly use the forceps to close the laceration. We've treated all the wounds, but his vitals still haven't stabilized.
Arrête de
The
tomber,
hemorrhaging's
putain.
formed a pool of blood. A laceration has formed. The hemorrhaging's gotten worse. Doctor, something's wrong. Keep looking. Once you've drained
Quoi?
the blood,
Quoi?
quickly use the
The fuck
forceps
is
to
going
close
on?
the laceration.
Comment j'ai perdu autant?
This is
For doc, the pain
Putain, mais je me
without
rappelais pas
they-
qu'elle était aussi dure cette mission. Putain, sérieux?
He appears...
We need to treat these external wounds first. The patient's vitals.
We've treated his There's probably some internal bleeding. Please open him up.
Ah putain.
This doesn't...
Please, use the antibiotic gel before the hemorrhaging worsens.
His vitals will have to use the magnification tool.
Doctor, the shadow has disappeared. Please use the ultras. We've treated all the wounds,
Patient's vitals.
but his vitals still haven't stabilized. Doctor, something's wrong. Keep The hemorrhaging's formed a pool of blood.
What? Ah d'accord, ok, ouais.
It appears that blood is collected in the thoracic cavity. Please hurry. Now suture the incision before it hemorrhages again. Another blood pool has formed. Please drain it. There may be other pockets of blood. Keep searching.
Just don't die on me. Putain mais... Ah, je le vis bien. Plus rien? Putain!
Okay, let's close him up. If we're all done, you got.
Ah, j'étais pas prêt pour ce genre de truc, hein. J'avais complètement oublié ce... Je me rappelais pas qu'elle était aussi emmerdante en fait cette mission.
I'm done transferring him.
Well, we at least accomplished something worthwhile.
Yeah, he's one lucky guy. How many officers can say they...
Je sais pas si c'est vraiment intéressant de se vanter de ça. Bon, alors 4-3, 42 minutes de vidéo, parfait. Donc on va s'arrêter là pour cette vidéo. Je remercie tout le monde d'avoir regardé cette vidéo. Et je vous dis donc à la prochaine pour la suite de Trauma Center. Allez, ciao YouTube.